Okay, we're going to continue with translations in this tutorial, and you'll see we're at the administrator backend. Now the URL might possibly change, and you'll be notified of that if that's the case. And you'll see here we've got the username and password, but we've also got languages. I'm going to switch this into Spanish just for giggles. I'm going to log in. The reason I've done that is to show you that all the menu items now are in Spanish, apart from the K2 management system, which isn't translated, and all the elements down here. You're probably only going to use 2 or 3 elements here, so I wouldn't get too worried about all the menu items and all the things you can play with. So I'm just going to log back out and log back in my own language. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is just check that the languages are installed, and you'll see here all the languages are installed on the site that we need in the administrator backend, which is here, and the content languages, the languages for the actual menu items, the articles, etc. And I'm just going to turn Spanish on while I do this demonstration, and I'll show you why. If I just click here and open up the website, you'll see it's automatically defaulted to English as the default language, and the Spanish flag isn't displaying, and there's a reason for that. You just need to clear the cache in order to increase the speed of the website. We're caching, so if I go to System and clear cache, select everything, delete, go back to the website and just hit the logo to refresh, the Spanish flag should now display, and it does. Now we might want to change the order of those flags, and that's quite easy. If you go back to the admin panel and just select extensions, languages, content languages, you see here Spanish is right at the end, and we can order them any way we choose. So I'm just going to grab the Spanish one and move it up here, and it'll be turned off in a moment anyway, but this is more for demonstration. Again, we're going to have to clear the cache, so let's just clear that. There we go, and refresh the site. That flag should now move to where the Polish flag is. There we go. So we can easily change the languages here, but we need the translations first. So let's start with something simple like the menu. So I'm going to go back into the back end. Now this is where we manage the actual languages themselves. Are the languages installed? Can we use them, etc. And you'll remember earlier we talked about optimizing the metadata for the languages. Well, we can do that here, or we can do it in the item itself, and that's why I didn't show that feature. So let's go to that feature now. Components, FALang, and translation. I'm going to select Spanish as a language, and I'm going to say I want to change a menu item, and you'll remember from before we'd already changed this. So I need to find home, that's the first item. Now a lot of people would type in Hogar for home, but it isn't on a website, it's Inicio. Same there. And we don't need to bother with anything else. There's no metadata or anything that we need to translate. Those are the only 2 things we need to translate for a menu item. Please remember, published. I always forget it myself. Save and close. And just for demonstration, I'm going to show that. So I'm just going to clear cache. There we go. And refresh. Home will stay as home because we're in the English version of the site. But now if I switch over to Espanol, that should change to Inicio. There we go. So that's how we change the menu items. So if we just go back, FALang, translation, we're still at menu items. So we can go through all of these items. And we can change them. go. And you'll see here I've noticed that the original is actually a date, and I know why. It's because we haven't linked to an item yet, but we can still translate it all the same. Select that as published. OK. Again, for demonstration, I'm just going to clear the cache. Refresh. Now, one of the things that you need to be aware of is when you're translating items, the menu, of course, starts getting longer, and it's possible that the menu will start going on to 2 lines. This is where we start, we have to be inventive. So instead of saying sobre nosotros, we could say nosotros acércanos or something like that, just to make it shorter so it fits on the menu. Okay, so the only other thing that you're going to need to edit or translate are the actual items themselves. So if we go to components, FA-lang, translation, we're going to stay with Spanish, and we're just going to say we want to translate the K2 items. Now the K2 items are these things here, all the articles. We call them items, but it's really an article. And I'm going to open this one to edit, and you'll see we have the original title. Translation will be the same, of course. The original alias, again, we change that, and we can just copy that into the field below. And remember, I'm using an editor, you won't be, but it's just as simple. So then we just start translating the content here. That simple. One of the other things, because it's an item, that I would suggest you translate is the meta keywords and the meta description. The original will be there for you when you actually get to translate this. Just cancel that. And that's pretty much how you translate everything on the website, the content and the items themselves. There are other things that will require translation, such as these banners here. They can be translated through modules, because that's a module. And we just have to find the module in question. There's not that many, to be honest, and we have actually deleted quite a few that we don't use. So for example, this one. Okay. Everything else we can leave the same. That's translated. Okay, any questions? Just get in touch. Thank you.